It's different. So yeah, that was my next one thing that I walked away learning, was that I have to be mindful of the voices, and I have to know when to turn off. And, that plays out now as, social media is there, and like, how involved am I? How far down the comments am I going to read? Because I realize that some of this is just not healthy. And so I know that because of what I learned early on, watching the voices. And the truth is in the Bible. Like, go to the truth about who you are, what God thinks of you, because other than that, it's just an opinion, and everybody has one, and some of them you just don't need to listen to.
Yeah, and they all stink. You know what they're like. We don't even have to say the whole thing.
Yeah.
We had just got married, and we were engaged my rookie year. Then we got married after that year, and so all of a sudden we get a new house, and all these boxes show up from
come with just me
from your parents' house.
Oh,
I just married you. I didn't marry all your stuff that you've had since kindergarten.
That'll preach.
So all this stuff came.
Yes, you did.
I come out the garage. I look. There's like boxes stacked up, and I'm thinking, who's gonna carry these boxes up these steps? Because I'm sure not. Boxes there, your clothes are there. They smell like, they don't. Yeah, they smell like your parents' house. They don't stink. They just, every house has a distinct scent. Yeah. But they like smell like, they don't smell like my house. Everything's just coming. Coming to our house. The two are becoming one at this point. And we had several, tough arguments. We had a bunch of stuff the first couple of years. She didn't really like me very much. And I probably didn't like you very much either sometimes. It's probably mutual. But I did learn about expectations and expectations of marriage. And I remember reading a book, I think it was by a guy named Gary Thomas. It was, I hope that's right. It had a green cover, but it basically was called, huh?
It had a pear on it?
I don't know what kind of fruit it had on it.
Sorry.
But it's called Sacred. Yeah, it's called Sacred Marriage. Sacred Marriage. And so the whole concept of the book was, so I'm sitting there in the locker room, sitting with my feet in the hot tub after practice, and I'm reading Gary Thomas's book, Sacred Marriage. People walking by like, man, what are you reading? I said, man, I'm reading this marriage book, man. I'm just trying to trying to live and figure my life out right now. I'm struggling. I'm about to drown. But the whole, in the book talked about, marriage is designed to make you holy, not necessarily to make you happy. Mm-hmm. Now, your happiness is a byproduct of your marriage. So don't hear and don't feel like you shouldn't be happy in your marriage. Yes, you should be happy. There should be happy times. There should be a spirit of happiness. Happy. You should be happy for sure.
Yeah.
But the goal is to make you holy. And if by chance you aren't happy every single day, that does not mean that you don't need to be married. It doesn't mean that your marriage has failed. If you're not happy for a few days or a few weeks or a few months, that's not the litmus test for any relationship. Because I was not happy.
Yeah.
I know you were, but I was not happy. And so this part of what we learned during that time, what I learned was what I expect out of my marriage. And part of the reason why I wasn't happy is because this person was all up in my business, all up in my phone, all up in my computer.
Yep.
All up in all my habits. All up in everything.
All the things.
Yeah, all the things.
Your
closet,
like
my closet. Like, leave me alone. Telling me to do stuff like,
I was making you better. I'm making you holy.
Yeah, that's what was happening. And so, how God designed things to work is, a lot of reason why we're not happy sometimes, at least I wasn't happy. I'll speak for myself. A lot of the reason why I wasn't happy a lot of times is because there was a pruning process that I guess God was using you for my own good. And
thanks,
so I had to
babe.
Well, don't. He was using you. He was behind it, not you. You thought you were doing it, but really it was him.
Yes.
And so that process continues. We're 16 years into our marriage now, and so I've still got a long way of a lot of pruning. It's going to continue probably until we leave this earth, because there's always going to be stuff to be made holy about. But that time, and reading that book and having those conversations kind of changed my outlook on it. It didn't make it easier.
No.
But my perspective and my expectation of what marriage was going to be from that point on kind of changed. And it allowed me to be more happy.
Yeah, I would agree. I enjoyed reading that book together. My last one is about friends and friendship. So while we were working on our marriage, it was, a time where friends were coming and going because football is very in and out. Season to season, it changes. And I just remember the first time actually having friends and then their husbands getting traded, they getting released, their retirement happened, whatever. And I was just like, wait, you're gone? Like, you're gone. Like, I'm still here and you're gone. And so I just remember just this idea that as long as we were in football, it was important for me to make friendships fast. And to ask God to send me the person, just send me the girls, send me the ladies, send me the friends, so that we can make friends fast and connect on a deeper level quickly. And so even now, it's I'm always like, God, is this, it's you can always feel the connection when you make with somebody and you're just praying for good friendships. And I realize how important friendships with women are to me, probably because I don't have a sister. But God was super faithful in that season to send me good friends and to send me people that I could hang out with and that were further along than I was, because everyone, was older. We were younger people on an older team. And so there were women who already had kids, who already, kids were going to school.
We were looking at them
and we were like, wow,
you got kids.
I don't even know if we're going to stay married. I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
So it was I just learned there that as long as I was in football, Lord, send me the girls that we're going to hang out with, that we're going to connect with, because I needed that, because football, you were gone. And so moving to a new city, knowing no one's Lord, please just send me someone I can connect with, or send me 2 women that I can connect with. And I look at now the women that I have all over the country because of all of our moving. And I'm grateful that, he taught me that quickly, that people had to leave. So you have to be very intentional within those 6 to 8 months.
Yeah. There's definitely a sense of urgency that you experience for the first time, really. I mean, because coming out of college and this being our first NFL experience, my first experience, in college, guys are going to be there for 4 years.
4 years,
I mean, it's a 1-year renewable scholarship, and they keep telling you that. Some guys, they don't get it renewed because of performance or academics, whatever it may be. But for the most part, you're going to be with those 4 people. You come from the incubator of college, not just inside the locker room, but just on campus in general,
right,
to a very transactional business atmosphere ecosystem, and it's jarring. I remember crying when one of my friends got released. I was like, oh my gosh, he was here yesterday. What happened to him? He's gone.
Yeah.
And so for the women, and you had to navigate that in a different way, because for you and for the women, it's a little bit harder, I think, to create those real relationships because it's not set up.
Yeah, because we're not coming
day.
Seeing
You're not
you
coming every single day.
Yeah.
So unless you're going, you're going to your own job, which many women are doing. You were doing it as well, going to your own job. But as far as women on the team, unless you live around each other, you go to the Bible studies or see each other at games. I mean, there's not an everyday, unless you've been there on the same team for a long time. So
right. Yeah. No, that was good. All right. So that was New England. There's so much more.
Yeah.
That we learned. I mean, we were there. That was the team we were with the longest. So we were newly married, and we were there you were there 6 seasons, but together we were there for 5 seasons. So there was a lot, but those are the ones that stick out to me immediately. So that was New England the first time.
First time. Second time, totally different situation, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a few weeks.
Okay, so here's the why or why not. So we thought all of these why or why nots going forward are going to be about football. Football why or why nots. Okay, why not put on some sleeves? Okay, let me tell you something. This man would be outside. We'd go to dinner in New England. It'd be cold. We thought, we were both from the South. Our first winter in New England together, I thought I had a warm coat, but I didn't, because I felt like I was naked. It just wasn't what you wear. So I had to go to where the people go who are from New England and Boston and buy a coat there and realize that it needed to be down and this, that, and the other. So if we go out to dinner, Benjamin has on a full coat, clothes, and talking about it's cold outside. But yet, on game day, it could be snowing and rain, sleeting, cold, below freezing. This man gonna come out the tunnel with just your football uniform on, no sleeves, nothing around your neck, just out here like it's springtime. So I would always say, why not put on some sleeves? So breath, you can see his breath as he's breathing because it's so cold in the air, but this man clearly doesn't want to have on any neck,
the first thing the first thing I realized is that whatever the conditions are, as Coach Belichick used to say, you put your stuff on and deal with it in practice. But in the game, you got to be outfitted for performance.
Oh gosh.
And so I'm sitting there as a young guy. Of course, I played at Georgia, and I'm cold. But I see all the older guys.
So you were peer pressured.
I see all the older guys in the training room with a big old jar of Vaseline, rubbing it all over their chest. I'm like, what are y'all going to? Y'all about to go pose or something? Is this y'all about to? It's a strongman competition. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Rubbing the Vaseline on to block the pores to create insulation. So there are tricks to the trade.
I'm not
just out there naked. I've had my Vaseline on. My arms are shiny.
It don't work.
But the sleeves, I just never was a sleeve person because
you wanted to show your arms.
Well, no, not even because I wanted to show my arms. I mean, that was a byproduct of not wearing the sleeves. But in football, you got to be able to move.
Yeah.
And so if I had on tights or I had on like some long sleeves, for some guys, they were used to it. For me, I just never felt like I could move. So why would I go and put on some sleeves if I wasn't confident in performance? Because again, going back to the performance thing, I needed everything to be right to be able to perform. Mm-hmm. I was terrified of not performing. Okay. And so I would rather be cold, shivering, teeth chattering.
Yes, that's
than
what
take
you
a
look
chance on not being able to perform because I wanted to put on some sleeves and be warm instead of going out there and doing my job.
Whatever. That's a good one. I still don't believe you, but okay.
And honestly, I wasn't really that cold. There were a couple of games when I've been really cold, but for the most part, I mean, the adrenaline and you get going. But once that wears off after like the first quarter, you be cold. You be cold. I'd be sitting on the heated bench, please, other offense get a first down so our defense can stay out there, so I don't have to go out there.
Yeah, terrible. Anyway, that was New England, or why not?
With the Watsons.